Howdy folks, this is Tork from Subject Neutral, and welcome to a showcase of Wargame Airland Battle. For those who don't know, Wargame Airland Battle is a strategy game based on the whole Cold War era. Excuse me. In this video, I'll be showcasing Canada, which is one of the major reasons why I actually got this game. But I'll also toss in a bit of a tutorial to sort of teach you how to make your own army. But for this, I'll be making pretty much my own Canadian deck. I actually have played quite a few matches just to get the feel for this. But it has been an interesting process, because I think I have made about 5 decks. And it was, the first deck was pretty much getting all the flashy stuff, and then my last deck is, okay, what do I need to win? And that's what I've gone with. So without further excuse-moi, let's get to it. So yes, as you can see, I clicked on it. Decks, this is what you by selecting a deck when you go to play in a match, this is what the deck allows you to gain access to certain units. So here we have the Canadian Battle Group. I'll view that. As you can see, it pretty much, how can I put this? Each of these tiles, let's just call them cards, because this is a deck, and a deck has cards. A deck is built of cards. So each card gives you a type of unit and then a certain amount of units. And each card counts a certain amount of points. So buying the first card in each category costs 1 point. In aircraft, the first aircraft costs 1 point, and then the next one costs 2, and then it's 3, 3, 4, 4, 4, 5, 5, as you can see here. And then helicopters, which Canada has none whatsoever, and that's a huge disadvantage. You can see, like, it's 1-1, and I think infantry and support units, they're like up to here for 1 unit. But yeah, to create your own deck, you just click on the create one here, and this is where essentially you pick your actual nation and whatnot. There's 2 factions to pick from, PAC and NATO. NATO is all like North America, West Germany, Britain, France, and Sweden, Norway, and Denmark, I believe. And the Pact is all about the USSR. Sorry, I keep on screwing that up. The Soviet Union and pretty much all its allies. China, I think, is in that too. But yeah, and then you can call your name. Let's go this way. The 4th Back Bacon Brigade. I'm choosing the 4th one because I tried, like I have the 1st to 3rd Back Bacon Brigade, which were previous decks I had made, and then I also have the 1st and 2nd Flying Canuck Air Force. But yeah, now there's more to this than just saying NATO and then naming your deck. You could say create, and by just doing this, what it does, it gives you access to all of NATO's equipment up until the 1990s, I think. It gains access to to every single unit that is available to each of the faction each of the factions except for national prototypes. And I'll clarify that when I go through Canada. So to actually decide what nation you want, you can pick it by, by actually picking your nation here through the actual acronym, so to speak, of their nation. So Canada is CAN, because we can do it. So you have West Germany here, France, UK, US, Denmark, Sweden, and Norway. So I got that right. Let's go through the pact people, because I haven't done a whole lot of them. Wow, they have a rather small few. Oh, okay, so it is the United Soviet United State, the United Soviet State of Russia, I think it is. You have Poland, Czechoslovakia. Is that Czechoslovakia? I guess so. And then this is the German Democratic Republic, or also known as East Germany. So yeah, you have that. Excuse me as I fix that around. So I'm gonna feature Canada because, you know, I'm Canadian, and I was actually really excited. Though my playstyle, not my playstyle, I've played pretty much. I've only played Canadian decks that I've built. I played the Canadian battle group that's available, and then like all of mine. Canada is very unique to play. Unique in the way it doesn't have a sort of very strong vanguard unit that is easily available to other nations. But they make up for this by having extremely mobile units and extremely mobile infantry units, and that's really all they have. They are lacking in, obviously, the helicopter area that I had mentioned before, and in their anti-aircraft unit. But I find, so far what I've found is that Canada, well, I've only played against the AI so far, but Canada is actually really its best fit as a support unit. So the type pretty much restricts the classes of units that are available. So motorized allows you to get anything on wheels, no tracks, and pretty much nothing with armor. So really, this is, I guess, kind of more like a it just the type of, obviously there's more types in this, but Canada is limited to the 3 because that's pretty much all they have. But the type of army you can make, by choosing a type, you gain a bonus. So let's just go mechanized. With the mechanized, you like each of these options has a plus and a negative. The mechanized, you get extra experience for the vehicle class and support class. And the negative to that is -6 slots for the helicopter section. Since Canada has no helicopters, this would actually be a nice bonus. Considering that, yeah, that's pretty much it. Actually, I just, no, mechanized does go with that. But yeah, it by choosing mechanized, you're restricted access to specific units. So units that essentially don't have a mechanized description, they get crossed out. So but yeah, I usually keep this no, just because I haven't really found too much of a bonus, though. Yeah, let's try this. You know what? Screw this. You know what? I'm gonna bring the 4th Back Bacon Brigade into the gameplay. Hopefully, I won't chat your ear off too long on this. But yeah, I'll go with mechanized and see what that brings. And then the era bonus. Essentially, what the era bonus does is it restricts the it restricts the technology that's available to you. But the plus side to that is, 1975 is, well, not necessarily a bad year to pick for Canada, but, like, it just means that you are, like, you'll have a crap load of infantry, but if you're going up against the Air Force, like, frick it, all the enemy team needs to do is buy 2 planes and you're murdered, so to speak. But by picking 1975, you're restricted to a lot of units, so units that were made after 1975, but the units you do have available, you'll get 80% more of them. So that will be good for creating massive hordes of infantry. But that one I'm going to turn off because all the good stuff in Canada is before even, is after 1980. So, yeah. So NATO, 4th Back Bacon Brigade, Canada, mechanized, and all units available. So then you go to create. So here you have your empty card, and as you can see, helicopters has been reduced 6 tiles here. Not that that matters because they have no helicopters. Well, they don't have helicopter dedicated units. They do have access to helicopters, but they probably got taken out because I went with mechanized. So the first unit, logistics. Logistics is important because it gives you command units that you need to capture command points, or command sectors I should say. And also a feature that I'm actually, this has really been the first thing I've been introduced into, is actually keeping your troops firing by making sure their guns are loaded. And that is in the form of supply. So whether it's a supply depot, Chinook supply copter, or a supply truck. So yeah, I've found picking these guys, 6 will do. If these guys start getting taken out, then you're probably going to lose the game anyway. So, because I keep these guys defended because they're small, so they're hard to see. Optics are pretty good. What are the optics on? Oh, they're, wow, okay. Optics is poor on that, and yet it has like a unit. Okay, but yeah, obviously you want to protect these bad boys because they're expensive, and really, for mechanized, 2 of your command units don't even have an attack. The Leopard has an attack, but that would be bad because if it starts shooting at people, they're going to know where it is, and then they can take it out, and then that's 200 points down the drain. I like taking 2 of these bad boys, the supply depots, mostly because I've had quite a bit of luck with artillery, and so artillery, they're very thirsty when it comes to supply in the form of their ammunition. So I usually park them right by these bad boys, and then I'm pretty good for the whole match. The Chinooks, I'm only going to take 1 of those because I love the idea of these guys where like you can just plop them and move them, but I've found with the fact that Canada has a hard time gaining any sort of air superiority, that helicopters and jets will take these bad boys out. So in the form of that, I'm going to get a couple supply trucks. I'll leave it at that, and I may even take out the Chinooks if I need more points, but I think this loadout will look pretty good, and I may even toss in another supply truck. So on to infantry. So this is the bread and butter of a Canadian army. So here you have the Canadian rifles. They have pretty standard loadouts. Their strength is 10. They're pretty good overall. Then you have your flamethrower units, the Génie du Combat, and oh, okay. Yeah, so Génies du Combat, and does that have... Oh yeah, it does have a Browning. Okay. So, these guys are good for attacking a, oh, what's that called? A, infantry in buildings, because, you know, fire goes around walls and toasts your units. You have your Highlanders, which, as you can see, they're 1989. So had I picked the era, I wouldn't have these bad boys. These guys, I find, they're good in the Highlands. They have a longer range, the longest range for anti-tank guns, with all of Canada's infantry combined, because I believe it's only 525 for everyone. So they're quite handy. Oh, excuse me. Oh, they only get the truck? Oh, interesting. Okay. And then you have the MAW units here. Smaller size, but they're dedicated anti-tank infantry. And I've actually found I've had some pretty good luck with these bad boys in defending sectors with cities. So yeah, there's that. And then you have the legendary Vendus, whose name comes from a slang for a number, 22 in Quebec French. So yes, these are the shock units. They move 5 kilometers faster than any other unit, infantry unit that Canada has. I think actually another unit moves just as fast. I think it's the Highlanders. Yeah, Highlanders move pretty good. So they have the Carl Gustaf as well, but they have less ammunition than the MAW units. And then after the Vendus, you have blowpipes, which are anti-air infantry with a strength of 2 people. And their downside is the fact that they have, 5%? They have a 25% chance to hit aircraft. And, well, you get 2 of them, but that's not a very good stat to have for 25%. But then 1980, really. So that the blowpipes actually might be in for 1980, so that'll be good to get an extra bonus. But the Javelin, 1989, strength is 2 as well, but they bump up to about 50% chance to hit a target, which is much better. But yeah, that's it for infantry. I'll actually come back. Well, actually, no, I'll pick up my stats right now. What do I want to do? So 3 units. That gives me 8, 16, 24 squads of Vendus. The MAW units, I want to... do I want that? Yeah, these guys are going to be in defense, and yeah, I'll do the Bradley tank. So 2 of those. Come on. Oh. Oh. Okay. Delete you. And I'll get them in veteran. Reason I'm picking veteran, because I prefer skilled units over mass volume. Plus, also the fact these guys are 15 units, and these guys are 21. But it's 21 per squad. And so when you get up to like 8 squads when you call in, well, 15 times 8 is 120 points. And sometimes 120 points is a lot of points. And actually, before I forget, I am going to get a javelin squad in there. And trained. I have... yeah, that's cool. Alright. Okay, so... yeah, I'll move on to support now. So, as you can see, here's a prototype for Canada, ADATS. It's a anti-tank, well, I'll just say what the acronym that ADATS is Air Defense Anti-Tank System. Essentially, it's a 2-meter long rocket launcher that can destroy both aircraft and tanks. And really, besides the javelin and blowpipes, it is really the only air defense that Canada has besides conventional machine gun fire. But its accuracy is just 5% lower than the javelin, but it still is pretty good, though it's a pretty big target. So definitely grabbing those. I'm gonna go with elite. I usually go with veteran because these guys, they're good, but they're fragile as hell. So you need to protect them. But I've also found that they've been pretty bad at taking out their targets. So I'm gonna try elite and see how that works for me, and then hopefully I don't lose it at all. And then the artillery. Artillery. So these bad boys, I'm actually going to go with elite. With 2 there. And 2 there. Now, you're probably wondering why the hell am I going with a crap load of artillery. Canada, like I've said before, doesn't have a strong vanguard force. But in the whole doctrine that the Canadian strategy that they invented back in World War I was infantry in advance, supported by well-timed artillery. And I do have to say I've actually gotten pretty good with when I have the Grizzlies. With me being mechanized, I'm gonna have to re-time myself with the Bradleys as troop carriers, or did I take troop carriers? Oh, I guess not. Okay, but this guy is 50k or 110, and that is 65k. Okay, I might switch the Vandus for the Bradley. I only picked the Bradley for the Javelin, so he'd have infantry defense. But anyway, the support, I go with the artillery, a lot of the artillery, because it's handy, because I usually deploy these in groups of 2. So I'll have keys 1 to 5 marked for artillery, and then I just hit T to target spots, and I'll just spam artillery, because really that's really all Canada has for strategy. And the mortar, I haven't really had much success for the mortar because even though it has a crap load of range isn't well, for my standards, it gets too close to combat because when the AI attack, they come in force. Tanks, I'm going to skip because I haven't had a whole lot of success with regards to the tanks. The leopards, maybe I may actually grab one tank battalion, a platoon of leopards. But I find, like, especially with the centurions and their slow range, is they literally get halfway across the map and then they become stationary gun platforms until, like, I get my supply trucks in there. But yeah, I might come back, maybe grab a few leopards because they have some pretty decent range, and they'd be good to add some extra defending bonus. Recon, need lots of recon. The Pathfinders, I'm going with the helicopters to make them airborne because booyah. I'm also going to grab a set of the scout choppers because that will be handy for artillery spotting, and then I shall grab those guys so that my tanks and other stuff will have some scouting range. I get the Chimera with mechanized? Oh yeah, I guess because it's treads, so sorry folks. So yeah, mechanized, recoilless rifle or tow. So 50% chance to hit, 17 power. Sorry, here it's it's taking a little time. I'm thinking actually I might go with the 106. Mostly due to the fact it's pretty cheap, and it can actually, it's multi-purpose in that it can attack infantry, and it has 20 rounds. So oh, I can get them in elite. I might get Chimera. Do I have planes? Oh, I have planes. What do you know? Okay. I'll get a Chimera, a couple Chimeras. Bring them out as lone wolves. Oh, okay, I see that. So there's that. Recoilless rifles. Ooh. 70 points for a pretty damn good anti-tank platform. I shall get one of you. Huh. Bonus armor. What do you know? So it's almost a tank like itself. Okay, planes, well, obviously, helicopters, nothing there, so there's no disadvantage in getting the, this -6 in helicopters. So, starfighters, or freedom fighters, hornets, pretty good in the anti-tank department. Yeah, let's try this. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so logistics. Gonna definitely grab a few more trucks. Sorry here if I've been a bit of a bore right now. Oh yeah, I gotta beef up my infantry. And redo my Maw people, because I'll just make them so they are excuse me, more, actually no, it's great. Bradley's for everyone! And those. Yeah, let's make this purely mechanized. Highlanders, make you some aircraft. Oh, and that's all I can take. Tank. So infantry, and do recon vehicles. Tank. Yeah, it's the leopards would be nice to have. Vehicle. Huh. Yeah, I'd say that'd be better to have the Chimera over the leopard. Okay, so then that's pretty much it for the deck. This will give you an overview. So obviously the first three categories are at a very healthy supply. And then my recon and anti-tank category are midway. And then I have a bit of an Air Force. So, yeah. So this will be the end of this video. And then hopefully I'll have back-to-back with the gameplay for this to try this deck out. So, yeah, I'll leave it up to that. Alright, I'll see you then, folks.